Welcome to AME Audit Training, presented by the AMC Auditing Team. Getting started. Each month you will receive the AME Audit Tracking Spreadsheet that will list the audits you need to complete for that month. This spreadsheet is also available at all times on Box.com in the Audit Tracking Spreadsheets and Directions folder so that you can see the most current information available. You will pull the audits you need to complete out of the current year's AME Audit folder on Box.com. Note, all properties will have an audit in this folder. You only need to pull and complete the audits listed on the AME Audit Tracking Spreadsheet. Reading the AME Audit Tracking Spreadsheet. When you receive the AME Audit Tracking Spreadsheet, click on the tab for the month being audited. It is separated by RPM and lists all audits selected that month. If a property is not listed under the RPM name, it is not required that month. Pulling the audit from Box.com. Locate the current year's AME audit folder. If you do not have access, let us know so that we can give it to you. Go to the month and then state of the property you are looking for. Important, if your site is on Resman instead of AIM, please look in the Resman Properties folder for your audit. Find the audit in the folder and right-click to download. Completing the AME audit. Once you have your audit downloaded from Box.com, you will need to go through each section and research each finding. Request any backup needed from the site team and put comments in the RPM comment section. Most importantly, if you find something that does not seem right, dig deeper. There is no point in doing the AME audit if we do nothing with the information given. When the auditing team reviews the audit, we will also research to see that things have been taken care of, and if they haven't, we will reach out to the RPM and VP if needed to resolve the issue and get training where needed. We will now go over each section of the audit and give examples of acceptable backup for different findings. Debit to late fees. Anytime a late fee is reversed on a resident's ledger, it will show here. Why were fees reversed? Verify in AIM that the fee was actually charged and the same amount was reversed. Is the property reversing fees at the end of the month to zero out balances and putting them back after AME is completed? Here are some common reasons for fee reversals. One-time fee waiver was granted. Verify that it is legitimately a one-time waiver and not something happening every month. Not late, paid on time, or check was in the desk or mail. Request a copy of the payment from property as backup to verify the date on the check or money order. VP or RPM approved fee reversal. Provide an email or some kind of proof that this was approved. Resident paid housing portion late. Verify that resident is on Section 8 and that the monthly billing is set up correctly. Debit to concession chargebacks. Concession chargebacks, late fees, and service fees are all commonly reversed at the same time when a fee reversal is granted to the resident. These will usually have the same reasoning for reversal as the late fees and need to be verified in the same way. If these fees were reversed for the same reason, there is no need to provide backup twice. Simply state "see above" in the RPM comments. While auditing, you also need to watch that the property does not reverse more or less than the concession chargeback fee that was originally assessed. On the audit, you will see the fee amount listed along with the amount reversed. Verify that they are the same. If the property states that they were charged the wrong amount of concession chargeback, compare to the concession addendum to verify that this is correct. Debit to miscellaneous or service of notice. When miscellaneous is used, always make sure that it was done so for a legitimate miscellaneous item. Miscellaneous should not be used to reverse charges when the same mnemonic that was used to charge it up in the first place can be used. Service of notice fees also fall under this section. Why are we reversing service of notice? Did resident pay before the notice was served? If that is the case, why are we charging before serving? Debit to month fees. Why was month-to-month reversed? Did the manager enter the renewal late so fees were auto-charged? Does the site have the wrong lease dates in AIM? Did AIM double charge? Verify all of these in AIM and request a copy of the lease to be sent in as backup. Debit to concession. When a concession is given outside of the move-in month, it will show here. Be sure to verify all concessions given and the reasoning. If a move-in or renewal concession is given and split up over several months or the lease term, make sure that the amount given each month equals the total amount on the addendum and/or lease. Under special circumstances, a concession may be given per the RPM or VP. An email or letter from the one approving must be provided as backup. Concessions should never be given to reverse fees that could otherwise be reversed using the mnemonic that was used to charge it up. Debit to application fees and non-refundable fees. When application fees or non-refundable fees are reversed, we need to verify why. Did the resident apply online and it was mistakenly charged? Check the screening company invoice. Is the resident a transfer from within the community and fees are being transferred from the previous unit? Verify in AIM. Was the wrong amount charged and reversed to be fixed? Verify on lease or welcome home letter the amount that should have been charged. Non-refundable fees not allowed in your region? Fix billing and make sure it isn't charging up to begin with. Debit to utilities on current. When utilities are reversed for the current month's bill, we are actually reversing the bill from 30 to 60 days ago because utilities are billed in arrears. Were the wrong number of occupants billed for? Verify on lease what it should be and fix in AIM. Changing the current month's occupants gives the resident a discount on an older bill, so be sure it is being billed correctly. Reversed payments. When payments are reversed for any reason, a copy of the payment is needed to verify what should have been posted. Was the payment reversed for the wrong amount, wrong unit, or wrong payment type? Seeing a copy of the payment will confirm any of these. If it is a pay lease or rent pay payment that has been reversed, a copy of the email from pay lease should be used to verify. Debit to vacancy loss. RNTV and vacancy loss should only be used in the move-in or move-out month to correct rent charged in error. Was a resident moved in or out of AIM on a day that wasn't what it should have been? Verify with lease dates. Vacancy loss should never be used in place of loss to lease. Debit to loss to lease. Loss to lease should only be entered by the RPM when adjusting rent from a prior month because the adjust rent screen cannot be used. RNTA is also pulled in this section because it affects the ledger in the same way. Make sure that the math is done correctly and that renewals are in on time so that adjustments do not need to be made. Debit to lost and WRLL. WRLL is used to credit a resident that was mistakenly charged for RLL. If resident has their own HO4 policy or renter's insurance, be sure that it is entered in AIM correctly and provide a copy of the policy to verify. Lost should never be used on a current resident without VP approval and backup of that approval. Lost should only be used if a former resident owes us money or in instances where checks are stolen or lost and we are writing the amount off with VP approval. Current residents not charged app fees or non-refundable fees. Application fees and non-refundable fees usually pool here when a resident pre-leases in a month prior to moving in. Ensure that fees are charged up at move-in and that on-site transfers fees are transferred with them. If a resident applied online and paid the screening company directly, provide a copy of the notification, receipt, or invoice from them as backup. Expired lease not charged month to month. Nothing should ever show up here if bump is turned on in AIM because it will automatically charge expired leases month to month and market rent. If the resident renewed and it was entered late or never entered, provide a copy of the lease as backup. If property is exempt from charging month to month, write that in the RPM comments section. Current residents with security deposits owing. Residents should not be being moved in without having paid their deposits. The only time it would be acceptable for someone to pool here is if the resident got a pet and they were being allowed to pay the deposit with the next month's rent. Check the deposit ledger to verify that the property is not moving funds between ledgers. If the required deposit amount needs to be changed in AIM, provide a lease as backup to verify what lease amount should be. Residents not charged concession chargeback and were late. Current residents who were late or have a balance and aren't charged a concession chargeback will be pulled here. Why were they not charged? Is it a utility or small balance owed? Is the concession chargeback amount wrong and that's why it wasn't charged? Send a copy of the lease or concession addendum if the fee doesn't match what should have been charged. Deposits applied to current balances. Transferring money between ledgers is not something that should be happening frequently, and if it is, it sends up major red flags. Is someone transferring money to hide delinquency? Is someone borrowing money from residents' deposits? Send a copy of the lease to verify what the deposit amount should be. Charges and debits to RNTF and term on current. RNTF and term should only be used to charge lease termination fees to former residents' accounts. If a resident is breaking their lease early and paying the fees before move-out, a copy of the lease is needed to verify what the fee should be. Loading completed audits to Box.com. All RPMs and VPs have an Audits for Review folder in Box.com. When you are done with the audit, please create a new folder in your AME Audits for Review folder and label it with the property code, month, and year, and drop the Excel version of the audit, complete with all RPM comments, and the backup file into this folder. As the audits are reviewed and closed out, they will disappear from this folder. Do not be alarmed. Unless the audit has not been marked off on the spreadsheet, this was done on purpose and it has just been moved to the property folder. Important things to remember. When the auditing team reviews the AME audits, they have access to everything available in AIM, so providing screenshots and ledgers is not necessary or helpful. Backup provided should be things that we do not have access to, such as leases. First and last page of the lease is always needed to verify. Providing the last page does not show the resident's name or other important information, and providing just the first page does not give a signature to show authenticity. Welcome home letters. Often a welcome home letter has all of the information a lease does as far as charges and is sufficient backup in a lot of cases. Concession addendums. If the resident concession is not listed on the lease, a concession addendum is needed to verify any concession given. Screening company invoices. When residents apply online and pay the screening company directly, a copy of the email or invoice is needed. Copies of payments. Whether it be for reversing a late fee on a payment that was not late or reversing a payment for any reason, copies of payment should always be provided. If the payment is made online, the email the pay lease sends should be given. HO4 or renter's insurance policies. When using WRLL to credit RLL that was charged incorrectly, a copy of the policy is needed. Please scan audit backup documentation in order of the audit. This saves a ton of time when reviewing and closing out audits. Make sure you are researching and providing backup and comments on every finding of the audit. Remember to dig deeper if you think you have found something suspicious, and if you'd like a second set of eyes, please reach out to us. Email us at auditing@amcllc.net. Welcome to